we should cover Adin Ross. So for those of you who don't know, Adin Ross is a very edgy streamer. I'm sure you already know who he is by now. He's aligned with like stuff like that. He's been on Kick. He's one of the major faces on Kick. Represents everything that Kick represents. However, Adin Ross has actually found a very unique. Adin Ross has been able to identify a very unique position within the right. Okay, regardless of what you may think of Adin Ross's intellect, he has unironically figured out a more consistent position of being, a right-wing figure than the likes of Ben Shapiro, okay? Which I find very funny. The reason why I find it very funny is because Adin Ross initially did this thing with Puka Nacua, right? Where he really leans into like the anti-Semitic conspiracies for his audience. He's like, oh, I have Jew lawyers, yada, yada, all this shit, right? And also, I mean, his actual, his image, his PFP on Twitter is literally him doing like the anti-Semitic greedy merchant meme, which is what he was trying to teach Puka Nacua to do as a touchdown celebration. He asked Puka Nacua, who's the wide receiver for the Rams, to if he gets a touchdown, to do a touchdown celebration dance where he spins the ball like a dreidel, which is normal. People do that all the time, right? And then hit the double flex and then do the greedy merchant meme. Now, Adin himself is Jewish, even though he leans into the anti-Semitic memes quite a bit. Adin also has a deeply anti-Semitic audience, okay? So I don't think Puka Nacua knows what the any of those things are. Let's be real. I don't think he knows much other than, running the football, catching it and running it, okay? But the timing of this was also, very up because Adin did this literally, I think, a day or two after the Hanukkah massacre took place in Bondi Beach. Okay, and then a bunch of criticisms came down, not against Adin, ironically enough, but mostly against Puka Nacua for doing this meme, this anti-Semitic meme. He didn't end up using it. He didn't end up using the greedy merchant like touchdown celebration in the game. The Rams ended up losing, not because of Puka Nacua. He was I think he had 2 touchdowns. He had a really great game. Regardless, no one actually got mad at Adin Ross except for Dave Portnoy. And apparently Adin Ross and Dave Portnoy had an extensive conversation over text messages. Dave Portnoy, for those of you who don't know, is obviously the founder of Barstool. I didn't even know he was Jewish until I think last year. Anyway, he is Dave Portnoy has had Dave Portnoy has been victim to anti-Semitic hate crime incidents himself personally. Okay. And he has also said a bunch of heinous shit about Greta Thunberg being murdered, and has presented himself as being pro-Israel, even though I don't think he had ever done that throughout most of his life until Israel was, known to the masses as doing a genocide, right? So he grabbed onto the pro-Israel movement in the worst possible time. But here is the conversation that took place between Adin Ross and Dave Portnoy.
You need to use your brain and work with people, not against. Because guys like you roll over and ask them to pet your belly. No, yes. Tucker, Piers, etc. Mainstream, it's inevitable. I just had to back Nick right there because he was kind of like, oh, you're lost for fucking with Nick.
Yeah. So what is inevitable? Do you think Israel's 1,000% in the right by murdering kids in Gaza? War sucks, which nobody died.
What is inevitable? Watch what I asked Dave. Dave, do you think Israel's 1,000% in the right by murdering kids in Gaza? War sucks, which nobody died. Dave, why can't you answer the question what I asked you? The other side is also in the wrong. Do you think Israel's 1,000% in the right? That's all I'm asking. There is no 1,000% right in the war. Why can't you just say yes or no? Why? Why do you have to just go around the question? Answer the question here, Dave. Can you admit?
I'm sorry. If you lose an argument, this is a perfect example of Zionism being a brain rotting function. it causes someone like Dave Portnoy to lose an argument and to come across as like the immoral side in a conversation, in a one-to-one conversation between yourself and Adin Ross, okay? That is insane. That is insane. You lost the argument to Adin Ross, Dave. Dave Porkboy, hang it up. It's over. To Adin Ross, you took the fattest of L's to Adin Ross, dude. I'm sorry, you are comparing equal intellects here? Yeah, exactly. And in many respects, I would say that like Dave Portnoy is the archetype, right? Like he was the prototype. Adin Ross is like the final evolution of a Dave Porkboy style figure.
That there are innocents dying. Why can't you answer this question? Of course, thank you. Therefore, you need to point out both sides, Dave. I have Muslim fans. Nobody has ever said otherwise. So do I. I have fans of all types. So do I. So stand up for the people who love and follow you. Chat, that's why I stand up for the people that I love and my community. Because you guys are all sorts of different cultures, backgrounds, etc. If you watch me, you're mixed. You're different types of backgrounds, races, religions, etc.
I need to see more of this. I need to see more of it because I saw more clips of this and it's hilarious. But they have this argument. There is one better clip of this than the one that we just saw, where guys, Adin Ross is not being woke here. He is saying equal opportunity hate. I need you to understand. He's literally saying, listen, dog, we make fun of everybody else. Okay, we make fun of everybody else. If we can't make fun of ourselves as Jewish people and we try to do this like DEI shit for Jews, we're going to lose the conversation. No, I'm not even kidding. I saw the rest of the text exchange and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, this figured it out. He literally, I don't think he's right, for the record. You know, make no mistake. I don't think it's appropriate and I don't think he's right at all because I'm on the opposing side of this conversation where I don't think we should be doing this to anybody. I don't think we should be dehumanizing anyone, right? Whereas Adin unironically has figured out that the intellectually consistent or the consistent position here to continue having an audience of right-wingers as someone who is Jewish is to literally do anti-Semitic memes. He's basically saying like, you can't, you can't run around and demand DEI or wokeness just for Jews. It makes us look bad. Okay. Now, this is the murdering kids Israel part of the conversation, but there's more to it. There's more of a back and forth where he actually lasers in on the other side where he's like, where is it? Let me see if I can find the rest of it.
On argument with Dave Portnoy. I'm going to show the text tomorrow on stream. He told me.
Oh, wait, he didn't show the text here. Oh, someone else must have had the clips where he shows the rest of the text. It may be this one. Hold on. Let me see if this is the one.
15 people get murdered in Australia.
Oh, yeah. So Dave, the conversation starts actually where, Dave Portnoy is kind of correct, right? He goes, why'd you tell Puka to do that dance? Seems like an asshole dumb thing to do. Adin says, it's a joke. It shouldn't have been taken too seriously. Yeah, telling a dude to do an anti-Semitic touchdown dance 5 seconds after 15 people get murdered in Australia surely wouldn't be taken too seriously. Idiotic thing to do. You play both sides. Okay? Again, Dave Portnoy is not wrong, okay? He's kind of not wrong. The problem here is they're both right-wing. So the hypocrisy stems from Dave having to smoke for every other group and then being hypersensitive about anti-Semitism. And this is the reason why Adin Ross actually arrives at a more intellectually consistent position than Dave Portnoy.
Surely wouldn't be taken too seriously. Idiotic thing to do. You play both sides. No, we need to stop playing this victim card and be consistent with all sides, races, and religion. I'm Jewish like you. I celebrate Hanukkah, Shabbat. There aren't just Jewish people that live in this world.
He's literally, dude. No, this is not about clavicular. We're going to get to that in a second. No, he's literally he's not wrong. He's like, you can't be on everybody and then not on Jews as Jews yourselves. Like, what the f are you talking about? Now, of course, this position is not sustainable if you are literally Jewish and you're also leaning into anti-Semitism, because eventually you're no longer going to be in a comfortable position. And I don't think Adin realizes that. I don't think he realizes much, which is why this makes it so much funnier where he is coming across as like smarter than Dave Portnoy, or at least more consistent than Dave Portnoy in this circumstance, because he's saying, no, it's equal opportunity racism. We got to be hateful to everybody. You don't understand.
You're a Jew who wants the cool kids to seem like he's a cool Jew. Suck Kanye's dick, tell Pookie to do that dance. If you don't think there's a difference between how Jews and being treated in this world versus 2 years, you're an idiot. That's the problem. We can't take shit too seriously. Our people are being hated. You need to add comedic light to show people we can take jokes. Not all Jews are bad, but people like you give us a bad rep, Dave. That's what I was referring to, Dave. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'd love to hear your full opinion, but we need to add light, not play the victim card. I'm a proud Jew. To stop anti-Semitism, we need to add comedic light, not play the victim card.
Bro, I love infighting of this sort. I'm sorry. It is a Christmas miracle, baby. Dave Portnoy getting out-woked by Adin Ross in an effort to defend doing more anti-Semitism. What is happening here, man? This is incredible. Okay? Dave Portnoy comes in and is like, dude, why the are you, fomenting anti-Semitism? The wrong with you? Adin Ross turns around and says, you defend Israel. You are literally doing worship. You are doing worship for us Jews by defending Israel than I am. And if we don't actually wisen up, like we're gonna get clapped up. We're like, if you keep defending Israel and then like crying about anti-Semitism, you're making people more anti-Semitic than I am. I'm just like making a mockery about it. I'm taking it not so seriously, which is the consistent position in the right. Okay. It's not correct because I understand how bigotry works. My perspective on this, to pull myself out of this back and forth conversation, is that it's not great. It's not smart to actively dehumanize yourself. Okay. It's not smart or great or good overall for social cohesion to consistently undermine marginalized groups and dehumanize them. Not a good idea at all, because then you're going to let the Nazis take over. Okay. But if you are right wing, if you are conservative, Adin Ross is 100% right. If you're conservative, if you want to do like, if you want to engage in dehumanizing rhetoric, if you want to be bigoted or whatever, Adin Ross is right. He's more right than Ben Shapiro. He's more right than Dave Portnoy. He has, with the limited intelligence that he has, arrived at a better position for conservative Jews that want to maintain this allegiance than Dave Portnoy and Ben Shapiro have. That's it. As I said before, you can take a token position for yourself in a white nationalist, white supremacist movement, as long as you don't speak out of turn, as long as you play that role, as long as you say, nah, this kind of stuff is actually totally fine. And there is even things that I agree with that Adin Ross says in this conversation. One of the things that I agree with is, when you defend Israel unconditionally, you're doing worse in terms of fomenting anti-Semitism amongst the masses. It's true. Anyway, Dave hits the woke line. There aren't just Jews who live in this world.
No shit. I give a bad rep too, because you and your dad both sucked my dick and thank me for speaking up last time I saw you. You're most definitely not a proud Jew. You are a convenient Jew. And he got me there. I'm like, damn, he's kind of cooking on that.
But Adin is in a white supremacist online culture, so he has to hate himself to be a part of it. Football players and right wing, so he's not doing the same. Probably didn't even know what it was an anti-Semitic trope. No, I know. There's more to it. I need to see more of it. I need to see more. But yeah, of course, Adin and Adin's dad sucked up to Dave and even talked about how good Dave was for, I don't know, fighting for Israel or fighting against anti-Semitism or whatever. But once again, the boundaries that these guys are having this argument on is around Israel. And if you have these arguments around like defending Israel or criticizing Israel, Adin Ross is always going to win that argument for the majority. And even morally, he's going to be on the correct side. If both sides are right-wing and one side is pro-Israel and one side is anti-Israel, who the do you think is the right side? Who's going to be the morally correct side in that situation, even if it's marginal? It's going to be the person who's on Israel. That's it. That's just the truth, okay? And this is the dynamic that I think a lot of people don't understand, because then they go, well, okay, well, one side is fomenting anti-Semitism, the other side is combating anti-Semitism. Okay, but the other side is defending Israel. Do you ever see the end game of not being nationalist enough? I mean, I'm sure there is. It's a suicidal ideology, regardless. Fascism is right. It shrinks endlessly, but there is more. There is more here, and I need to find it. Does anyone have the rest of the clips? Because it's very good and it's very funny.
Oh my God, Fuentes, brother, you are lost. You need to ally people like Fuentes. He's getting too big and will continue to get bigger. And guess what? Eventually, it'll be Impact. You are lost. He is getting big. You need to.
Yeah. Like, and then Adin Ross, and this is where he's wrong. Okay. Adin Ross turns around and says, you got to ally with people like Nick Fuentes. Okay. Put me in my place. Show me I'm a coward. Don't back out now. Debate Fuentes. Debate someone. Okay, I don't have a stream, but happy to do live. Perfect. Let's do it. Oh my God, Fuentes, brother, you are lost. You need to all ally like Fuentes. He's getting too big and will continue to get bigger.
Brother, you are lost.
They're having a wrong off, dude. Okay, and guess what? Eventually, it'll be Impact. You're lost. He's getting big. You need to use your brain and work with people.
You need to ally people like Fuentes. He's getting too big and will continue to get bigger. And guess what? Eventually, it'll be Impact. You are lost. He is getting big.
You need to use your brain and work with people, not against. Because guys like you roll over and ask them to pay your belly. No, yes. Tucker, Pierce, etc. Mainstream, it's inevitable.
You need to use your brain and work with people, not against. Because guys like you roll over and ask them to pet your belly. No, yes. Tucker, Pierce, etc. Mainstream, it's inevitable. I just had to back Nick right there because he was.
A Jewish man is suggesting discourse with an open neo-Nazi. My brain cannot comprehend this. Yes, brother. 2025 and 2025. Fascism is so different. And I've been telling you this for years. And people, for some weird reason, think that it's still the old dynamic where it's like the white, the Anglos that are the foundational side of this white supremacist movement in this country as they were in the past. No, they are not. America is too diverse of a nation. America is too multicultural of a country to have a fascist white supremacist movement that is entirely comprised of the true whites, okay? It's not going to be an Anglo movement. It's a movement currently led by a black woman, Candace Owens, and also supported by, or the second in command by, a Mexican gay guy, Nick Fuentes, okay? Another loyal servant of white supremacy and straight up Hitlerian fascism in this country is Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit. And also Adin Ross, who is Jewish. Woke as hit DEI, brother.
Saw that.
Adin Ross reacts as Nick Fuentes explodes on Hasan Piker over Charlie Kirk's death. Just you. Yeah, these guys are so funny. They were all like super serious about the Charlie Kirk assassination when it first came out. And they were all like acting as though, my reaction wasn't sincere enough.
It's kind of like, oh, you're lost for fucking with Nick. What is inevitable? Watch what I asked.
What is inevitable? Do you think Israel's 1,000% in the right? And then he turns the conversation over to Israel.
Dave, do you think Israel's 1,000% in the right by murdering kids in Gaza? War sucks. Which
I can't believe Dave Portnoy couldn't even in this conversation, he has to hit the like, oh, war sucks. War sucks.
Nobody died. Dave, why can't you answer the question what I asked you? The other side is also in the wrong.
By the way, these are two people that are objectively pro-Israel, except one is a good enough room reader, Adin Ross, to recognize that saying free Palestine and recognizing what time it is and saying like, Israel is actually the smart way to communicate on this issue. Okay. But it's funny that like neither of them can apply the appropriate criticism to an ethno state, to a Jewish ethno state, a Jewish supremacist ethno state that is currently doing a genocide, right?
You think Israel's 1,000%?
Yeah, the entire chat is going oy vey, Jew on Jew violence, all this stuff. Yes.
In the right. That's all I'm asking. There is no 1,000% right in the war. Why can't you just say yes or no? Why? Why do you have to just go around the question? Answer the question here, Dave. Can you admit that there are innocents dying? Why can't you answer this question? Of course, thank you. Therefore, you need to point out both sides, Dave. I have Muslim fans. Nobody has ever said otherwise. So do I. I have fans of all types. So do I. So stand over.
Is Aiden objectively pro-Israel? He used to be. I would say in the last couple of months, he's become way more pro-Palestine. or at least like he presents himself as being like pro Palestine, but he still does the both sides. He's pro Palestine now only as a function of being pro anti Semite. No, I think he's just pro clout. He's a better room reader than Dave Portnoy is. He's a both sides kind of guy, but he was definitely pro Israel initially. Like he would have a hard time. If you remember, like when he would have conversations with like Speed, where Speed would say like free Palestine, and Adin would try to be like try to defend Israel a little bit, and that was even before October 7.
For the people who love and follow you, right? I made it very clear to you guys. Dave Portnoy has had tons of people come up to him, say fuck.
He was dick riding Israel when everyone was on you. I know. All these guys were. At least for Adin, he's Jewish, and he grew up, and probably he didn't really pick up on a lot of information when he was growing up, clearly, but this was something that he kind of like through osmosis figured out. Okay? I think Adin Ross being pro-Israel as an American Jew is a much more understandable position than like someone like Asmongold, for example. Yeah, and obviously he talked to Trump talked to Adin when Adin was hyping him up in the stream, and he asked him if he was pro-Israel, and he was like, "Yeah, of course."
This Israel, you're Jewish. Are you a fan of Israel?
Yeah.
It would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened if I was president. And everybody admits it. Iran was broke. They had no money. I wouldn't let anybody buy oil from Iran. As soon as Biden comes in, he didn't have a clue. He let everything happen. But Iran was totally broke. They had no money. And I wouldn't let them nobody. China, I said, you buy oil from Iran and you can't do business in the United States. They said, we'll pass. I mean, that's fine. But I did that with everybody. And we would have had a deal, 100% we would have had a deal, and there would have been no attack. There was no money left. Iran had no money. We would have made a deal. We would have made a fair deal for them. I would have loved to have made a fair deal. I'm not looking to, I just want them, they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear.
What makes Adin Ross think Fuentes is on his side? I don't think Adin Ross thinks. I think he's just, he understands. He is smarter than some of these other guys on the right in the sense that he can read the room. But I don't think he thinks about things. Like, I don't think he thinks about like what kind of impact this might have. He just sees that like the environment has shifted in the direction of being openly anti-Israel. He's openly anti-Israel. He realizes that a lot of the people who are anti-Israel are now also engaging in a ton of anti-Semitic stuff. And he's like, okay, well, I got to do that. Equal opportunity hate. It's ironic because it's like, again, a more consistent position. Even if it's wrong, he's consistently wrong. Even if the moral calculation here is that it's wrong, right? At least he's consistent in the direction of being wrong, right? And that puts him in a better position in the conservative movement than the likes of Ben Shapiro or Dave Portnoy, who are totally open to on every marginalized group all the goddamn time, but then turning around and being like, how dare you say anything about the Jews? This doesn't make any sense for the average American who does not have this investment in protecting and preserving the safety and security of Jews, who does not have any interest whatsoever in continuing this ridiculous relationship with Israel. This is something that I've been talking about for years, okay?
Nuclear weapon. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. So what happens is we worked very hard.
Yeah, like Adin Ross has attacked me for the last 2 years over my pro-Palestine position endlessly. Adin Ross has also stated that he was pro-Israel until like recently, right? Every now and then, if pushed, he would go, oh yeah, I'm pro-Palestine, free Palestine, some shit like that. But now he's totally leaning into that side. And it's smart for him to do this because every time someone yells at him, just like every time someone yells at Nick Fuentes, he can turn around and say, what I'm saying about everybody, what I'm saying about Jews is no different. No different than what Randy Fine says. If anything, it's more tame than what Randy Fine says about Muslims. And this is true. Now, I'm not in favor of fighting fire with fire, but this is absolutely the This is absolutely turning into the battle in this country, the cultural and political battle in this country. It's not a secret that the Israeli lobby has realized that they've lost a lot of motion, they've lost a lot of sauce, and everybody hates Israel. And even more and more people are now also tying Israel to Jews and hating Jews as well. It's not like anti-Semitism completely went away at any point throughout American history, but now it's growing. And Israel has realized, like, oh, the only way we can combat that is not by making people love Israel. We can't do that. Toothpaste out of the tube, cats out of the bag. We should just make them hate Muslims more. So now the battle that is brewing in American culture is like, do you hate the Jews more or do you hate the Muslims more? Candace Owens is on the side of hating Jews. Tucker Carlson is on the side of, I mean, he doesn't openly say he has any disdain for Jews, and he's too smart to ever say anything like objectively anti-Semitic. He'll just lean into it. He'll always take nods to it. He'll hire people who will say stuff like that, but he won't say it personally. But Tucker Carlson is on the side of saying, like, no, it's actually Israel that's dividing us, right? And there are people now who basically do the same thing that the Zionist lobby has been trying to do. And again, there is evidence for this. Drop Site Reporting has extensively covered it. If you recall, right? I retweeted it recently again. The whole leaked Israeli government research. Israel is considered a genocidal apartheid country abroad, according to Israel's own research. Israel's best tactic to combat this, according to the study, is to foment fear of radical Islam and jihadism, right? So now there are people who are basically like doing the reversal of that, and in an effort to combat against Israel, they're just leaning into anti-Semitism. It's a terrifying prospect. It's terrible. Okay. Having said that, it's completely out of my hands. You know what I mean? This is a much broader conversation that's taking place, and it doesn't even fucking matter what people like myself have to say about it. Okay? You know what my positions are. I think anti-Semitism, just like Islamophobia, is unacceptable. It's an unacceptable bigotry. It is unnecessary hatred that is fomented. It relies on treating people like they are a monolith, right? And ultimately has nothing to do with the nation states that we are talking about. That's silly shit. Best tactic when you're sure you want to go on taking land for future desired demographics. Exactly. No, that is the whole point. Back in 2016, 2018, I managed to get out of the right-wing Shapiro-Milo pipeline by feeling a sense of contradiction with the sentiment of the content they produce versus my reality as a gay man living in a severely homophobic country. I can't relate to people like Adin who can just throw away everything that is so dear to him and his identity over cloud motion. I mean, content creators are different than human beings, like normal human beings. Let's be real. They operate on the algorithm. They live and die by the algorithm. Yeah, Adin Ross called you a terrorist because you're interviewing with a Yemeni teenager, which is so funny because I'm willing to bet that while he was calling me a terrorist, his entire chat was calling him a Jewish terrorist for even criticizing me for interviewing a Yemeni teenager.
Fuck the Jews. Fuck people. Never happened to me. I've had people that come up to me and say, you know what, bro? You give the Jews a good look, Adin. Or you know what, dude? Thank you for doing you. Thank you for standing up for what's right. And that's what I'm going to continue on to do. And that's it. So, Dave, whenever you're ready, I posted a text like you told me to. I'll glad you said you were going to publish it. I beat you to it. Dave, whenever you're ready to come on my stream, we could talk about it, bro. We could talk about it. All right? But I think you could agree, chat, or people that are going to see this.
Don't give content creators a pass because you are one. No, dumbass. You're misunderstanding my point once again. I hate this cynical ass approach to what I'm saying here. I'm saying content creators don't operate like normal human beings do. That's why I always say be charitable to others. But when I'm talking about charitability, I'm talking about like random people who've been duped by content creators. Content creators themselves are grifting. First and foremost, they care, in most circumstances, they care more about the algorithm. They care more about clout. That's how they make their money. So they operate with like very different boundaries. They operate with very different intentions than the average person does. That's not giving Adin Ross a pass at all.
Human beings are going to agree with me, Dave. The Jews might agree with you. The Jews that don't care about anyone else but themselves might agree with you. But there's Jews with good hearts out there, Dave, that would agree with me over you. And I can guarantee that. It's not hard to have a heart in this world.
there are obviously still people who have an ideological goal. Okay, I do. I have one. It's very open. I'm very open about it. I'm very honest about it. Honest to a fault about it. I'm very stubborn about it. If I was grifting per se, there have been numerous political and cultural shifts that have taken place over the course of the last 12 years that I've been online. I would have leaned into those cultural shifts. I never did. I stayed steadfast with my worldview, with my desire to build a better world, a different world, and deliver an alternative, a socialist alternative. If that wasn't the case, if I was this grifter, as you say, you could go back and find points throughout my commentary career where I'm like advocating for the exact opposite things that I'm advocating for now, but that's not the case. That's why I think it's always funny when people are like learning about Israel post October 7, come in here and try to criticize me on the way I'm talking about this stuff. When I've been talking about this stuff for 10 years, you didn't even know anything. You barely learn how to wipe your ass. You barely learn what Israel is to begin with. And now you're coming over here and being like, I don't really appreciate your place in this space in speaking about anti-Zionism in the appropriate ways. It's ridiculous. Okay?
Not about, oh, do this, do that. No, it's about humans. What's right, what's wrong. That simple. Happy holiday.
Your enemies have changed their tactics multiple times over the past 8 years. Most of them have easy clips proving that they're full of shit. Exactly. On the issue of Israel, for example, okay, you will not find any clips of me taking a pro-Israel position by any metric. You just won't, because I'm consistent. Yeah, and not only that, but I was and this doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, especially because of the issues that I was speaking out on were far more consequential. It was death, destruction, genocide. But having said that, yeah, I mean, because of my unyielding, unchanging positions on Israel, my criticism of Israel, a third of this community left after October 7. There were plenty of October 7 leavers. So many people for the last 2 years have called me a Muslim Islamic terrorist, an Islamic terrorist who needs to be deported, an Islamic terrorist who needs to be arrested, imprisoned, deplatformed. Now, many of those people are also taking the same stances that I took post-October 7 and pre-October 7, okay? After spending 2 years endlessly being like, we got to get this guy out of here. These guys are all terrorists. These guys are all animals. They're terrorists. There's terrorists. Yeah, here, this is one of the...
Bro, you have a wallet. Why do you lie? Also had somebody on your stream recently who's a terrorist. You are a terrorist, bro. When you end the stream, you hate America. Leave the country. Nobody likes you anyway. Just leave. Go back to wherever the you're from since you hate America so bad and go over there. And I promise you guys, you'll be like, oh, I hate it here. I want to go back to America. Retard. Schmuck.
I think he was also saying you were begging for a kid contract when they started, which is the most brain-dead revision of events I've ever heard.
Hasan, on my mom and dad's life you were. And don't do that. Because I can't throw certain people under the bus, and everyone believes me.
That was the funniest thing. That he was saying I was begging for a kid contract.
I have no reason to lie. I expose and I talk the real about everything. I don't give a I got no reason to lie. All my life.
Remember when he said I was like perma-banned off Kick too in the beginning? That's so funny. This was such a stupid take that like even Aiden's fan base didn't believe this. They were like, dude, what the f are you talking about?
If you were entertaining this contract about coming to Kick in the beginning. Don't lie. Don't do that. And guess what? You would have taken the crypto money from Stake. So you don't even make any sense. You suck.
I like this conversation, this hypothetical, because I objectively did not. Even XQC denied that, I think. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
Suck. How does this retard have a audience? Like, I'm not even joking. Yo, bro, he's banned in Turkey. It makes sense. Let's ban him from America. Yo, I go lie. Yo, he is literally a terrorist. Yo, bro, please can we ban him from America? Yo, bro, I will get a poll sign. I guarantee everyone will sign it. He sucks. He sucks.
Yeah. Why do I hate America, by the way? Because of America's continued allegiance with Israel in the process of doing a genocide. Okay? That's it. That's why these are like, oh, you hate America. You hate America. Because I kept saying, I don't think America should be giving unlimited weapons to Israel as Israel is conducting a genocide. And now all these little bitches are saying the same shit. Now they want to switch up. And it won't even matter, right? It won't even matter. For their audiences, it doesn't matter because they don't really have any real political convictions. I'm sure there are some who do in these audiences, but not enough to recognize this inconsistency and call it out, and to start questioning whether or not this is actually decent. Okay.
Let's deport Hasan. Hashtag deport Hasan. Oh my God, bro, please.
It's so funny, bro. Damn, hilarious. I'm passing out laughing. You know you up when Adin Ross is making points. Crazy how rational Adin sounds. Hasan viewers really are so brain dead. I'll sign that petition. Get him out of here. So true. Hasan has done nothing for his community other than blame them for everything. It's funny because it's true. Actual W from Adin. Wow, even Adin can sound based on this topic. That's scary. You up if Adin Ross of all people make you sound like an idiot. I think what a lot of these guys don't understand is, yeah, you agree with him because you are also a dumbass. When you turn around and you go, oh, dude, Adin sounds real rational here. There are instances where Adin can sound rational when he is now taking a anti-Israel position against Dave Portnoy, or he can even sound consistent. Okay? But if you agree with him demanding that I get deported because I'm not eating Israel's dick, then maybe you're not actually anti-Israel. Those people all sound like boomers, but they're all 16. Time is a full circle. As a leftist that does disagree with you on several points, I know for sure you aren't a grifter because you not only are very upfront when you disagree with other leftists all the time, but you also don't go agree with any popular right-wing position. Not to mention you can't grift to the left. If you're a grifter, you wouldn't ever disagree with your audience. Many people don't know what grifter means clearly. Yep. If you were to grift, why the wouldn't you change your positions as the winds blow in a different direction? Okay? Why wouldn't you? This doesn't make sense. Yeah, here's the post Charlie Kirk when Nick Fuentes was crying about how I wasn't sufficiently grieving Charlie Kirk's death.
His first reaction was to make a glib remark about gun control. Seriously?
Yeah, that was crazy. I even saw what Kai said. That was whack too, bro.
That's a 31-year-old man. That's a young man with a wife and kids.
Like,
he got shot in cold blood.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's a human at the end of the day, bro. Like, crazy.
XQ now says he doesn't like Trump now that Trump is unpopular. Yeah.
College students never forget the trauma of
whack,
his children, of his family.
It's whack
what
as
about
fuck,
the
bro.
people that
How, by the way, how quickly did Nick switch up on Charlie? I've been doing this for years, okay? I've been doing this for years. My positions didn't change. I said the same exact in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination as I do now. Okay? All these people go along with the wind. You not bending over all the pressure and losing so many viewers after October 7 is the most respectable thing about you, and you don't bring this up enough? Yeah, because I think it's selfish, okay? The reason why I don't talk about it that much is because, or the same reason why I qualify it every single time is because it's worth it, okay? It's worth it to stand by your principles, even if people don't want to hear it, okay? Even if people turn around and say, I don't want to hear this, I'm never going to give you money again. I hope you go broke, as many people did, okay? Even if you are endlessly hounded, as I was, as people in this community were as well, non-stop, it's always worth it to stand by your principles. And the reason why I don't want to bring it up that frequently or qualify it every single time is because what I was talking about is far more consequential, okay? It's nothing. Oh no, woe is me. I lost a third of my audience as a content creator because I was firmly committed to the anti-genocide position. Who gives a There were children being slaughtered, okay? And Americans needed to wake up to that reality. I would have done it if I had 10 people watching at that point, okay? That's it. That's it. That's it. Because that is the far higher priority. That is far more consequential to get that word out, to not let Palestinians die in vain, okay? Palestinians who in their last moments were still trying to show the rest of the world what Israel was doing to them, using eSIMs, trying to get a crumb of internet so they could post yet another brutal bombing campaign that took place day in, day out. Palestinian doctors, Palestinian teachers, children in Gaza. Who gives a if half of this community left, you know? And they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear someone say, no, this is Israel's fault. Israel's still the far more villainous actor here, that Hamas's standards of violence or its impact could never reach anything that Israel has done to the Palestinian population for decades prior to even Hamas's existence. Hamas's formation and its tactics have evolved throughout time as a direct consequences as retaliation to Israel's unlimited violence. That's the reason why I think it's not worthwhile to talk too much about, all the issues, all the harassment and the endless smears that not just myself, but everyone who has been pro-Palestinian have withstood for decades.